it's great that you mentioned tax loss harvesting because that was the next one we were going to discuss. One of the reasons to sell. Now, this is a sort of a more advanced strategy that a lot of people don't talk about. If you've got a portfolio of 10 or 15 stocks or more, it's likely that one of them is going to do really horribly. Maybe it goes down 80% or 90%, and it just doesn't come back up. Some people will hold on to it forever in the hope that it'll one day return. Some people will sell it off and just say, well, I lost money. Neither of those are the ideal scenario. A stock that is done really badly and isn't going anywhere, and you look at the numbers and you can't really predict that it's going to go up because it went from being a wonderful company to being not so wonderful company, and you just weren't quick enough to get out. You didn't see that it became the value of the actual company went down. You just thought it was the price going down, and then you realized, oh, it's the value of the company that's gone down. This is now worth 80% less than when I bought it. And sitting on it forever, it's never going to recover if it's no longer a wonderful company. And selling it immediately, you're getting no benefit from that. You're literally getting 20 cents on the dollar out of your investment, and that's not useful either. But a great reason to sell that stock is when you are selling a profit-making stock, one of the ones that have made you a lot of money. You want to cash that out into cash, and you want to do something great with it. You have to declare those winnings to the tax man. Now you sell the losing stock, and you can declare those losings, because only when you sell your stock, that's when the tax man's interested. And he wants to know what was your original basis that you paid in, and what was your profit or loss when you paid out. So if you sell your losers at the same time as you sell your winners, you can offset your profits in your taxes by showing your losses on your losers. That's called tax loss harvesting, and it's hugely beneficial. So that would be a very good reason to sell your losers. And I think that would probably wrap up all the reasons I have off the top of my head. There are probably a couple of other good, valid reasons, but that's all I've got. You got any other ideas or thoughts?
Yeah, I have, but I have another comments about what you said previously. This tax loss harvesting is really powerful stuff, and this is how most wealthy people optimize with their taxes for the whole year or the certain period of time. But you need to be really careful, because when you sell the winning positions, these winning positions can grow further than your previous lost stocks. So you need to carefully weigh the opportunity and risk and return in this case. But speaking about myself, another reason why most people can sell their positions is just thinking that this stock is overvalued. And it's not currently overvalued by yourself, but it is overvalued by the market. And in most cases, if you think that the company is trading at, 50 or 100 PE, it is probably the time to sell now. What do you think about that?
There's a lot of different indicators to determine overvaluation. Three of them would be PE that you're just talking about. If the industry average for that industry is, say 14, and which is sort of the market as a whole's average, and your stock is now at 30, which is so far above the average, you could consider it overvalued. And similarly, if the industry average is 5, and yours is on 10, might be overvalued. So PE is a good one. Another way would be, obviously, the way I like to do it is the discounted cash flow analysis. So I determine the intrinsic value, I buy it, my margin of safety. If it goes back up to intrinsic value, I might want to get out, or I might want to stick around a little bit. But the higher above intrinsic value, the more likely is that it's going to correct back down. And so that I would consider overvalued. And then the third one is on very small stocks that are considered growth stocks, that you're buying it because you see it multiplying many times into the future. You often buy those stocks at a PEG ratio. When it's under 1, it's undervalued, and when it's above 1, it's overvalued. So you could use that as an indicator for those smaller growth stocks. Over to you.
And this leads us to the next thing, which is really close to overvaluation, but it can be like unexpected event in combination with this, is like the bubble or the trendy thing. So, for example, when you invest in the company, which is an ordinary business like selling toys or retail stores, and suddenly this company and the management of this company just tries to follow the trend and imply different, I don't know, maybe blockchain technologies or NFTs into selling toys or other stuff, the stock can get really overvalued by this case, because most people think that, okay, this is the modern company and I need to buy that because crypto is now on hype and all people and all my friends actually buy this, so I need to purchase this stock. And in this case, you also need to be really careful and re-evaluate the company, understanding the PE and understanding when will be the right time to sell.
I think that we are going to have to devote an entire episode to bubbles because they are fascinating and there's much to learn about bubbles. Another thought that I wanted to add to this episode, because it's to do with when to sell, I wanted to teach you all a little trick that the wealthy use, which really, really helps them. I'm not sure if it's a good fit for you. It's just something to be aware of and learn from. They often never sell their stocks when they need to buy something expensive like that yacht. They've got so much money in stocks that they can use the stocks themselves as collateral when they borrow money. And this is called margin. So they'll use their margin account with their broker. And instead of getting an interest rate like you would, the average person, of 21 or 25% on your credit card, lower if you're lucky, but you want to buy a car for 3,000 or something like that, or 6,000, and you've got a credit card of 10,000, you're going to be paying massive interest. If they want to buy something, same car, more expensive car, a yacht, doesn't matter, they'll use this margin. And what's crazy is because the percentage is a combination of things that basically say to the bank, how risky are you? How certain are you to pay back your loan? That's why it's so high, 21, 25%. It's not just because they're greedy, although it probably is partially, but it's mainly because of how risky it is that you're not going to pay back. So because they've got this collateral of the stock, they know that they're going to get paid back. So they can give extremely low margin. I've had margin on my stock account as low as 2%. So instead of paying back at 21% or 25%, whatever I want to buy, I can get 2% on up to a certain percentage of my entire portfolio value. And then there are risks with that. If your stock goes down a certain amount, they'll do a margin call demanding that you pay back a certain amount of the money to keep the percentages right. So there is a little bit of a risk on that. Important that you use margin in the right way, but effectively the wealthy get really low interest rates when they want to buy stuff. And they don't have to sell their stock, because if they sell their stock, they'd have to pay taxes on the stock. But if they borrow the money, they don't have to pay taxes on that sold stock. And then they pay off that really small amount at whatever speed they like. That 2% is almost ineffective. And they're making more than 2% on their stock market account. So they basically get away with not paying taxes on their gains on their stocks because they don't sell their stocks. And then they get to buy the expensive stuff using margin. It's just something to think about. If you grow your account, you too, if you're with the right broker and you've got enough stock in there, can use margin in this fashion. Just don't use it unwisely. But I've used it in the past to pay down, credit cards at higher rates, knowing that, so I had a credit card I managed to get down to 6% through negotiation and whatnot. But I paid it off using the 2%. So now I save 4% a year on that particular balance. Just stuff to think about. And maybe we'll talk more on this in another episode. But instead of selling, they don't sell. And so reasons to sell, sometimes you don't. And you just use margin when you would have sold. So that's me wrapping up on this topic. Any last thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, I think that this is the really clever approach of how to rethink about the ordinary things, and it is really, really creative stuff. And that's why we all need to educate ourselves every day in order to learn all new methods. And when we just learn and know as much as we can, we just can connect all these dots and save more and more money for ourselves and our family. But anyway, this is all for today. Thank you for being with us. We hope you really enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions, please write them down in the comments below. Please also subscribe to this channel and see you next time.